Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette, getting us situated here on this fine day. So happy to have you guys join me and share some energy with me today. The thing that I wanted to talk to you about today. Sorry for all that turning. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. And the thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is how your triggering will help you heal your childhood wounds. In the last few years, I had the opportunity, not even the last couple of years, maybe 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to be incredibly triggered by things that seemed familiar to me. I'm going to make this one a super quick one because I have clients here shortly, but I got the biggest gift of my life to heal childhood wounds that had lingered and had been open and had not been dealt with for a long time. Sometimes God will allow people to be in our life. And the universe brings people in our life so that we can heal these things and we don't realize it. We think this is just a punishment. What did I do? Her name was Shannon. Shannon Rodriguez. I will never forget it. She was blonde and blue and magical. And I was a kid. We were preteens, maybe even early teens, very pre to early. And I knew Shannon because I grew up with her. Her family ran a very known place in the Keys that we always frequented and even took field trips to. And she was one of the popular girls for sure. And her and other people, I won't say all of their names, but that name for me matters. And I do believe that I was meant to share this with you. My angels just tapped me. They're like, make this video very quickly. I interacted with Shannon for many years, and we spent time around each other. I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian community in the Keys, and my mother insisted that I had culture, so I was in all of the activities, from charter fishing to tennis lessons to jazz, tap, piano, to cheerleading, softball, t-ball, everything. Shannon, I knew from cheerleading. I cheerleaded. Yes, I was still a big girl. I was still chubby even then, and you know me, I always have my photographic evidence, so I will look for that picture that someone put up on my page years ago, and I will put it up in our JV League cheerleading outfits. And I tried out because I wanted to do something bigger than me. I wanted to be the captain of the cheerleading team. Well, I didn't get captain, but I did get co-captain. Yes, girls. Me being one of the few brown faces there, me being bigger than the other girls there, but me having all of my Leo flair won the judges and some of my team members over. Shannon Rodriguez was the captain. One of the things that I recall her saying to me was, I'm doing this to be nice to you. It wasn't a conversation about me getting the co captain position. I earned that. I proved that through and through. And I made sure that everybody knew who we were at any game we went to. It was an incredible experience and it was fun, but it didn't come with a lot of pain because of being ostracized because I did not look the same. 40 years later, or well, gosh, maybe 20, 30 years later, fast forward, and I had to deal with that again. And I didn't understand. I thought I slayed this dragon when I did my cheers land. I thought I slayed this dragon when Shannon was chattering with all of these people as we were at practice on the football field, sweltering in the sun. Uh, Smelling the sea and the salt roll in because our football field was built just feet from the ocean. I thought I had slayed those dragons, but it wasn't until 20 years later when someone said to me, I'm doing this to be nice to you, that I looked into the face of my reality and the fact that that wound had not healed. That being ostracized and talked about and made fun of and excluded and left out, I hadn't addressed how that had really made me feel. As an empath, we feel everything. I knew before those girls were going to be mean girls to me, before they were Regina George to me, I knew that they were going to do it. I've always been wickedly psychic. And when I say wickedly, I mean like very sharp, brilliantly in tune with people that I didn't even understand the things that I saw or could see. And I doubted it. And I second guessed myself for so many years until that was no longer the place that I could be. Now I'm very sure of what I know. So when I saw another situation crop up with someone that I loved so, and that she was becoming Shannon or allowing another Shannon Rodriguez to weigh in, and then I heard these words come out of her mouth, and I knew what fresh hell I was in, and I thought, my God, is this happening again? I was triggered. It triggered me immediately. The second she said it, I was again back there, a preteen in my blue and white uniform, waiting to be included and having girls decide in a forum if they should do it. Girls travel in packs and can be terribly mean, especially when they are preteen. We've seen the Lifetime movies. But I still pushed my way in, and I still smiled my big smile, and I still won awards for congeniality. I still did something impossible, something that the other girls thought I could never be. They didn't even think I could make the team. Co-captain was but a dream, and the reason not captain had a lot to do with the climate, the time. I think you understand what I'm saying is true, and the fact that I did not look like everyone else. I was not blonde and blue. 40 at 40, well, not at 40, but previous to, in my mid 30s, I dealt with this again, where someone decided that they should be the co-captain, maybe the captain. And I had an opportunity to heal that triggering wound, and I did. I dealt with it. I looked my demons personally in the face. I slayed the dragons that had been taking up so much space from my past. I have a million stories like that, and maybe many of you do too, empath. Years of ostracization and being the strange one that didn't fit in, being excluded, being left out, having friends that were chasing clout that weren't ever really your friends. When that happened when I was in my mid 30s, I said never in this life again. Shannon Rodriguez, I lay you to rest. Thank you for putting me to an ultimate test. Years later, as we grew up in high school and after that, she reached out. We both had ended up going to culinary school and we talked a lot about that. And she said really kind words to me. And she even apologized. She says, we weren't always so nice. And you were one of the best of us. And she said in her life, there are situations where she had to pay the price for being like the rest of them. What I mean by that is she found herself loving people that didn't fit in, that were not the societal norm, and she got to feel what all that was like on the other side, being excluded and being ostracized. The universe has a way of balancing things out. The universe has a way of pointing out if you're dealing with someone who loves you or is there for clout. At 35, when someone, or 30 something, I don't remember the exact age, when a best friend of mine, quote unquote, looked into my eyes and said, I'm just doing this to be nice. And she'd allowed the Shannon Rodriguez's of her life to get into her ear and to instill fear. I thought, you're weak sauce. I thought you're weak sauce. I did not think, um, this is a great loss. I did not think, um, I want to fix this. You get to be the boss. I was pissed. But it was because I was triggered from a previous thing and I understood it was time to fix this. I was so repulsed by that person, but she had no idea why. It's funny when she said to me, I thought you would let this slip by. I didn't think this was a big deal. For her, it was a fun game, them laughing at me, but for me, it was all too real. I had been there before. It's a trope done in movies. They're all going to laugh at you. It's why Carrie ends up making the end of that scene bloody. It's because we all have felt that and we can relate. And when you feel the crushing hate and rejection of someone that pretends that they're your friend only to make fun of you in the end, it's something you never forget. Each one of us have our stories and each one of them is gory. It crushed us, it cut us open, it gutted us, it made us bleed. When I was a kid, I didn't have the wherewithal to deal with it. I didn't have the emotional capacity. I knew what I felt, and I knew that I wanted to be. It's interesting. The way I handled it then was being a pick me. I overachieved. I worked so hard they couldn't unsee. And yeah, I was the co-captain. And yeah, I have proof. But the thing that I took away from that was an integral truth. When you are exceptional, people will always try to ostracize you. I was exceptional. I didn't even know it. I didn't even understand why they hated me so much. And I was different. I looked different too. It wasn't just my exceptionality, it was the fact that we are sometimes part of a sheep mentality, and I didn't fit in with the herd. Years later, when that occurred, I didn't react the same way. I cut off the relationship. I refused to stay. I let her think it was about something else. I let her think it was something silly and romantic. But the truth is, I had assessed her behavior in the couple years that she was being toxic, and I had carefully planned it. My escape, that is. I was dealing with a covert narcissist. Different scenario. I don't think that Shannon Rodriguez was that. I think she was a kid, and she had parents that were racist. She admitted later that she did. That was part of her journey. The truth is, the person I was dealing with had parents that were racist and was surrounded by that as well. But I always gave them credit for being different, but they were a near do well. They were not at all. So when she said out of her grown ass mouth, I'm doing this to be nice to you, after 20 years of friendship, when I had always come through, I thought, no, sweetie, I was doing this as an earth angel to be nice to you. I understood my assignment. I keep threatening this video, and one day I'll make it. We as earth angels are often assigned assholes. I was assigned to a connection and to a family for a long time, but that didn't mean that I was supposed to do it at the betrayal of my own soul. When it became too toxic, I left. But that leaving was triggered by such terrible behavior, and it was behavior that slingshotted me back to being a kid. When other people thought that in their hands they held my fate. And I didn't make captain, so on some level they did. What I want you to take away from this is that your triggering can be the thing that heals one of your biggest wounds. I will never be treated like that. I will never be told I'm doing this to be nice to you. The audacity of fools. No, empath, you are in their life as a favor to them. You are in their life to teach them how to yield and bend to kindness and humanity. If anyone tells you they're doing you a favor, remove yourself expeditiously and allow them to feel the emptiness of your absence in its totality. And that means with great finality, you don't go back. Do that to be nice to yourself. Heal your wound. That triggering isn't just there to make you scared and to make you cry. It's not just there so that time flies by and you never address it. It is there so that you can learn from it, you can dress the wound, and you can move on. And one day, forget it. And what I mean you forget is the pain, the injury, the place where you almost felt insane, the rejection, the mean Regina Georges, the mean girls that thought less of you because they never have lived a day in your shoes. When Shannon Rodriguez had her turn on the wheel to be ostracized, to know how that feels, to know what it is to have people not care about you because of who you chose to love or who you were next to, there was compassion in her heart when we were in our 20s and we got to have that conversation. And maybe whoever triggered you will also feel that same thing, but it is not your business to stay there and find out. You get out and you heal. You choose you. Do that. And do it with haste. Because our life is finite. There is no time to waste. licking and nursing old wounds, or enabling narcissism and sociopathy to create new ones that you have to tend to for the rest of your life. Not on my watch, not in my energy, not any longer. I will no longer have synergy. I vibrate out of people's alignment when they think that it's something they can try. But please know that those moments come into your life so that you can have that good cry, so that you can identify where that original wound came from and you can release it and get on with the life that you've now begun. Do that to be nice to you. I love you guys so much. I got to get running here with clients. Come back and join me next time. See? And we will continue to. Hey, Softwater. Good morning, my sweet love. You're always here, and I'm so grateful. Come back and join me next time, guys, and we will continue to evolve together.